Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my failures. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about books that I'm embarrassed that I haven't read yet. Books that honestly, I feel like I should have read already. I don't really have a good excuse. I just haven't, and I'm a little bit ashamed of myself for it. I'm hoping that maybe with this video I can hold myself accountable a little bit, inspire myself to finally read some of these, and also invite you guys to try to motivate me, If you think I really should read one of these books, do let me know. I'm giving you permission to peer pressure me in the comment section to get me to finally read some of these. The first book on my list of books that I'm embarrassed I haven't read yet is The Final Empire, the first Mistborn book by Brandon Sanderson. I got this as a Christmas gift, I think in like 2018 when I first joined booktube, because I heard so many good things about, sorry if you just heard, I think, the motorcycle that just loudly went by the house. I heard so much praise for this series and for Brandon Sanderson as an author on booktube. I mean, he's still a very highly praised author on booktube. And at the time, I was very into Game of Thrones / Song of Ice and Fire. My heart hadn't been broken by it yet, so I wanted to read more fantasy. I think I'm still a fan of fantasy, but I can't say it's my favorite genre. It's not something that I gravitate towards a lot. It's just something that I read every now and again. Probably because fantasy does intimidate me. They're usually series and they're usually a commitment that I'm not always ready to make. But I do want to force myself to read this at some point because I do genuinely want to read it. I'm just scared and unmotivated. I also think that Brandon Sanderson seems like a cool guy. He has a YouTube channel where he talks about writing, and he seems very down to earth despite all of his success. He actually teaches courses on creative writing at BYU, and he has posted some of his lectures on fantasy writing on his YouTube channel. So even if you're not his student, you can watch his lectures for free. And I think that's just really cool that he's sharing his knowledge for free on YouTube and helping people grow as writers. I think he seems like a genuinely cool person, and I do want to give one of his books a try, but I've owned this for approaching 6 years and I haven't read it yet. So I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of myself. The next book I'm going to be talking about in this video is The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. This is an 1800s classic, and I did read part of it. So in order to explain why I'm ashamed that I haven't read this, I have to tell you a little bit of backstory. So when I was a junior in high school, I was taking an advanced English class, and this class was taught by my absolute favorite teacher in high school. Great guy. I was in several classes with him. He was the newspaper advisor. I was in his homeroom. Like, he was my absolute favorite teacher. And one of the things that we had to do for junior year English was we had to write a research paper where we picked 3 books, and we had to write a paper basically discussing all 3 books and sort of a theme or topic that is throughout all 3 books. So the books that I ended up picking were The Awakening by Kate Chopin, Daisy Miller by Henry James, and The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. I think maybe they had to be American classics because I believe all those authors are American, but that's besides the point. And so I was going to write an essay talking about how the characters in these books like manage societal expectations, yada, yada, yada. Now, I read the first 2 books. I read The Awakening and Daisy Miller. And then I kind of procrastinated reading The Age of Innocence because so many people in my class hadn't even read one of the books they picked yet, right? So I was thinking, well, I'm ahead of the game. I've already read 2 of these books, so I can take my time reading The Age of Innocence. Like, I'm already ahead of most of the people in this class who haven't even thought about their books yet. But that was a mistake because then I ended up not having time to read all of The Age of Innocence. I read the beginning of it and then I just read the Spark Notes for the rest. Wrote my paper, got an A on the paper, and as my favorite teacher handed my graded paper back to me, he said, "Good job on this, Jackie. I can tell you read the books." Because he could tell a lot of the people who wrote the papers, like, clearly didn't read their books, clearly didn't put a lot of time into their projects, and so he was literally praising me for actually putting a lot of thought into mine and reading the books when I didn't actually read this. I still feel guilt about this, 9 years later? I hope he never sees this. He probably won't. But I still feel bad for cheating and reading the Spark Notes. I'm so sorry. All right, the next book that I'm embarrassed I haven't read yet is Shakespeare's Sonnets. This is the Sonnets and a Lover's Complaint. I bought this while I was studying abroad in England during college. So it would have been the fall semester of 2019, right before the pandemic hit. I bought this, I think, at the gift shop for Shakespeare's House, because when we were all in the study abroad program, they took us to Stratford-upon-Avon for a week. So I believe I picked this up there at Shakespeare's House. Have not read a word of it. I feel bad that I haven't read this yet because I've owned it for so long, and I do genuinely enjoy Shakespeare. I think, like I mentioned in a video recently, it is a little hard for me to find the motivation to pick up Shakespeare on my own because obviously before I studied him in school, and so it was a more communal experience. You know, we would perform the plays in class sometimes, and I think it was more motivating because I had a group of people to discuss it with, and it's just a little intimidating to read Shakespeare on your own. Also, I'm not a huge poetry person, so it's not like I'm just gonna sit in bed and read the sonnets like I would read a mystery novel. I'm gonna have to go very slowly and put a lot of thought into it, make sure that I'm understanding the language, because I'm not a big poetry girl, and Shakespeare does require some thought to understand at times. So that's why I've really just been putting this off, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that I haven't read it because I've had this for going on, what did I say, 5 years? Like, shame on me, honestly. Why haven't I read a single sonnet in all that time? Come on, Jackie, like, come on. Another book that I'm embarrassed I haven't read yet is The Fiery Cross by Diana Gabaldon. This is part of the Outlander series. I think I said that I was gonna read this before the new season of Outlander came out, and the new season came out last year. New episodes are coming out this fall. I haven't read this, haven't read a word of it. I think, again, it's intimidating to me because they are very big, and obviously they are going to take longer to read than many of my shorter books. Oh my god, there's a page that's folded in here. Oh no. So I think I haven't read an Outlander book since 2022, I want to say, and there's really no excuse for not reading this book in 2 years. I feel like I should read it between now and November. I think that's when the new episodes are coming out. But it's just intimidating. It's intimidating to me, and I just haven't picked it up yet because this book is how long? It is almost 1,000 pages. Yeah, it is 979 pages. Embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. And the last book on this list of books that I'm embarrassed I haven't read yet is a book that you've seen all the time if you watch my videos. It is this Mythology by Edith Hamilton, Timeless Tales of Gods and Heroes, the 75th anniversary illustrated edition with illustrations by Jim Tierney. My dad bought me this as a gift because I asked for it, and guess what? I haven't read any of it yet. It is an absolutely beautiful book. That's why I have it on display. It is so lovely with the illustrations, you know, just like the little drawings they have just on the pages. Like, they are gorgeous. And I really should read this. I do really enjoy mythology. But again, I think this is not a book that you're just gonna read before bed, you know? Like, ooh, let me just sit down and read 100 pages of mythology. I think it's gonna have to be something that I read little by little, maybe over the course of a month or two. And I just really need to take the initiative to start working on it, even if it takes me a long time to get through it. So I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry that you bought me this beautiful book and I haven't read any of it yet. I will read it, I promise. Some point, hopefully soon. All right, everybody, so that is my list of books that I'm embarrassed I haven't read yet. I am ashamed of myself. Please encourage me / bully me in the comment section to read these books. I think really I'm just kind of intimidated by some of them, and that's why I haven't picked them up yet, because I am a wee bit scared. But you need to conquer your fears, all right? You can't sit on a book for 6 years because it scares you. It's just a book. A book can't hurt you. Do let me know in the comment section, what is a book that you have put off reading for a long time and you're a little embarrassed that you haven't read it yet? Be honest, I would really like to hear from you in the comments section. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. That really does help me and my channel. It helps my channel grow and reach more people. If you would like to see more from me, please do subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. You can also find my social media links in the description if you would like to connect with me on other platforms. I think that is it for today's video, and I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.